Have you ever stood next to someone who seems to radiate a kind of invisible light? It's not just about their clothes, or their smile, it's something deeper. A vibration. A quiet, unshakable confidence that feels like a physical force. When they walk into a room, the room changes. When they speak about an idea, no matter how simple, you lean in. You believe. We have 1,000 names for this. Charisma. Presence. The it factor. Mojo. And we've been taught to believe it's magic. A genetic lottery. Either you're born with it, or you spend your life on the outside, looking in, wondering, what is the secret? What do they have that I don't? What if I told you that the secret isn't something you acquire? It's something you unleash. It is a raw, primal, biological power that is the birthright of every human being. It is the very engine of life, the impulse behind all creation, the source code of every great work of art, every empire, every monumental human achievement. And yet, 99% of people are taught to fear it, to suppress it, to waste it on cheap, fleeting pleasures that leave them spiritually and creatively bankrupt. This is not a self-help concept. This is the most dangerous secret Napoleon Hill ever uncovered. He didn't whisper it. He shouted it in his interviews with the greatest minds of his generation: Ford, Carnegie, Edison. They all knew it. They all used it. And they understood that the public was not ready to hear it, because to hear it is to be handed a weapon. He called it by its true, clinical, and terrifyingly accurate name, the law of sex transmutation. And before your mind closes the door, before you dismiss this as something you already think you understand, I want you to ask yourself one question: if 99% of people misuse this power, is it possible that you are one of them? Is it possible that your understanding of this force is the very thing that is holding you back? Let's be clear. The misuse begins with the word itself. Sex. You see it, and your cultural conditioning kicks in. You shrink it down. You put it in a box labeled biology, private life, physical act. You separate it from your ambition, from your creativity, from your drive to build a legacy. That separation, that fragmentation of your own energy, is the primary misuse. It is the root of the leak. Think of it this way. Imagine you have a nuclear reactor inside you. It is the most potent source of energy known to man. It is the power of creation itself. Now, 99% of people are taught that this reactor is dangerous, shameful, or only useful for one single, small function: to power a single, dim light bulb in a remote corner of a vast, dark warehouse. So, they use it for that. They flicker that little light on and off, while the rest of their potential, their vast, empty warehouse of ambition and talent, remains in total darkness. They feel the immense power rumbling inside them, but they don't know how to connect it to anything else. So, it becomes a source of anxiety, of frustration, of restless, undirected desire that manifests as procrastination, as envy, as a deep, lingering dissatisfaction with life. The 1%, the ones who radiate that light, they have done something different. They haven't destroyed the reactor. They haven't condemned it. They have become master engineers. They have built conduits. They have run cables from that roaring core of creative power to every single room in their warehouse. They power their work with it. Their relationships. Their health. Their artistic expression. Their intellect. They are fully illuminated. They are a beacon. This is sex transmutation. It is the engineering of your own inner power. It is the alchemical process of taking the raw, undifferentiated energy of desire and channeling it, refining it, and directing it toward the achievement of any definite purpose. Now, let's dismantle the 3 greatest myths that keep people in the 99%. Myth 1: this is about suppression. This could not be further from the truth. The goal is not to kill desire. It is not to become cold, logical, and sterile. That is a path to creative death. The goal is transformation. You are not shutting down the reactor, you are redirecting its output. You are taking the same intense emotional fuel, the same passion, the same burning urgency, and you are aiming it at a different target. A target of your choosing. Myth 2, this energy is only for the young and physically vigorous. A dangerous and foolish misconception. While the biological impulse may be strongest in youth, the creative energy it represents is ageless. It is the fuel of vision. An older person who has mastered this art becomes a sage, a mentor, a visionary leader whose influence only grows with time. They have learned to refine the fuel, to burn it cleaner and more efficiently for higher purposes. Myth 3, this happens automatically when you have a goal. It does not. Having a goal is like having a blueprint for a power grid. It tells you where the lights need to go. But it doesn't build the conduits from the reactor. That requires a conscious, daily, moment-to-moment act of will. It is a discipline. So, how do you build the conduits? How do you go from being a person with a flickering light bulb to a person who is fully illuminated? It requires a three-part framework. A practical, actionable philosophy. Part 1, the awakening, shifting your perception. This is the foundational step, and without it, nothing else works. You must undergo a fundamental reprogramming of how you see this energy within you. Start here. For the next week, I want you to practice a simple act of relabeling. Every time you feel a surge of that primal energy, whether it's attraction, restlessness, deep emotion, or raw passion, I want you to pause and say this to yourself, internally, this is not a distraction. This is potential energy. Feel the difference in that. This is potential energy. It changes it from something that happens to you, into a resource that is available for you. You are not a victim of your desires. You are a steward of a powerful force. This shift in perception, from passenger to pilot, is the first and most critical step. You are acknowledging the reactor exists, and that you are its chief engineer. Part 2, the destination, cultivating a definite chief aim. You cannot channel a river without a destination. You cannot wire a building without a blueprint. A vague wish for more money or to be happy is not a definite chief aim. It is a ghost. It offers no resistance, no compelling vision to pull the energy toward it. Your definite chief aim must be a burning, vivid, emotional obsession. You must be able to close your eyes and feel the reality of its achievement. What does it smell like? What does it sound like? Who is there with you? What emotion courses through your veins? The more sensory and emotional detail you can pour into this vision, the more magnetic pull it will have. This aim becomes the load for your power grid. It is the city that your reactor will light up. Without a powerful enough load, the energy has nowhere to go and will simply short-circuit back into frustration and anxiety. Your aim must be worthy of the immense power you are about to direct at it. Part 3, the alchemy, the ritual of conscious redirection. This is the practical, moment-to-moment work. This is where you build the conduit. It works like this. The trigger, you feel the surge. The energy rises. It could be sparked by anything, a beautiful piece of music, a moment of attraction, a flash of anger, a sudden inspiration. The intercept, instead of letting it run its old, habitual course into distraction, into fantasy, into wasted expression, you pause. You take one deep, conscious breath. You remember, this is potential energy. The switch, now, you consciously and deliberately switch the object of your focus. You take all that emotional intensity, all that raw feeling, and you project it onto the screen of your definite chief aim. You feel the same passion, but now you feel it for your vision. You burn with desire for the achievement of your goal. You pour that restless energy into a physical action that serves your aim. You start drafting the email, you sketch the design, you practice the speech, you study the textbook, but you do it with the emotional charge of the original energy. You are not suppressing the feeling. You are elevating it. You are giving it a higher, more meaningful expression. You are, quite literally, performing alchemy on your own psyche. You are turning the lead of base, undirected impulse into the gold of creative genius and unstoppable action. This is why the people who master this seem to have superhuman energy. They are not superhuman. They have simply stopped the leaks. They are no longer wasting their most potent fuel on trivial pursuits. They have consolidated their power. They have become a unified system, where body, mind, and spirit are all aligned and powered by the same core reactor. This is the dangerous secret. It's dangerous to mediocrity. It's dangerous to a system that profits from your distraction, your fragmentation, and your belief that you are less than what you are. When you harness this, you become a sovereign individual. You are no longer easily manipulated by advertising that uses sexual energy to sell you a car you don't need. You are no longer derailed by emotional drama or petty distractions. You are drunk on a more potent purpose. You have tapped into the current of creation itself, and you have decided to use it to create a life that is a masterpiece. The 99% will continue to misunderstand. They will call you lucky. They will say you have a gift. They will never see the discipline, the conscious redirection, the daily alchemy happening beneath the surface. Let them wonder. Your path is clear. See the power within you not as a beast to be caged, but as a force to be directed. Define an aim so compelling it deserves that power. And in every moment of choice, become the alchemist of your own soul, transforming impulse into purpose and desire into destiny. The secret is no longer a secret. You have been given the schematic. The power is yours. The only question that remains is, what will you choose to illuminate?